What is success? It seems to be that, and always has been to some extent, whoever has more is most successful. More access, more money, you're the winner. The last, for a lot, the residuals decline on quality. How many times we sacrifice quality for quantity? The two don't have to be separate. Now, you may have to make some sacrifices of quantity to have more quality, but I think we should give quality more credit than we do.
Well, are we not ultimately having more quantity in the hopes of more quality? You're sacrificing.
But that's not a quid pro quo. It doesn't equal out to that. We believe it will, and hey, it can. Access, I mean, I got a lot of things now from money I've made that I'm like, damn right, man. I'm glad I have that. That makes my life not even more convenient. I actually like that more. I like what I can do with my family more with that. But would I be any less happy if I had a 30, a 40, a 50th of what I have right now? No. No way I'd be less happy.
If it makes you a worse person, it's not success. If starting a business tears your relationships apart, makes you bitter or frustrated with people, then it doesn't matter how much money it makes or external praise it receives. That's not success.
What do you want your life to look like? If you don't have a sense of day-to-day what you want your life to look like or who you want to be in your life, it's very easy to lose your bearings very quickly because you're going to get offered things. You know, do you want to go over here? You want to do this? You want to do that? You are doing what makes rational sense or is in your immediate self-interest, but it may well be taking you much, much further away from where you want to go or where you should go. You wake up one day and you go, oh, wait, I'm the bad guy.
I've met many more very rich men who chase that dollar to be successful and to be relevant for having the most money, that the last 15, 20, even younger years were bewildered, lost, had no relationships, didn't have purpose. Chasing the dollar, they just did it. They were good at it and made it happen, but they didn't feel what they were doing. They couldn't even necessarily say what they were really good at. It's also why I wasn't surprised when Trump first got elected. Had fame, had money. We sell that every day in the West as this is how you make it.
It's America.
This is what you
That's
do.
America.
That's America. Yeah.
Right? The best version of your life isn't copying Hormozy or copying Williamson. It's being able to, with nuance, apply the principles that are generalizable across domains.
I say it all the time. Please don't be me. The only thing I want people to be like me is be as happy as me. That's an insular game. That's a self-awareness game. That's a process game.
I think being really clear with yourself about what success looks like is really important because if you start to get it, it becomes this rocket ship that you're riding on and you are not going to have the control then of it.
I think we just need to ask ourselves that question, relevant for what? And also in the pursuit of quantity, which is what the world rewards, what do I want? And again, that's a hard question of what do I value the most? It's a hard question to answer, but if we can answer that, make sure it makes us answer the quality question of what we want more of and not just the quantity question. Because a lot of us, I've done it too, been blind as could be chasing the quantity to see, let me see if I can get the biggest number. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it, find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would it. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something and you just don't know whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to. But the limbo of not knowing, if you half-ass something, the limbo of going, I hedged my bet.
What could have happened?
You don't know.
Greatest skill is the ability to discern what things to use and what things to cast out. It is the central narrative of noise versus signal. And the reason that I've spent such a disproportionate amount of time focused on behavior was because there's so much noise that if people cannot translate their quote advice into what I should do, then there's nothing useful about it, which is why I think the density of useful information, I think people are bloodhounds for value, but I think that value gets translated in the most crystallized, distilled, concentrated manner when it can be translated into do this instead of that. period. And everything else, the amorphous words that people use, especially the motivation manifesto, or just manifestation, we'll get into that one. And so they take the entirety of someone and without all of the other conditions that apply to that person and say, oh, I will take this and apply it to my life. And if you cannot pull out what is useful for you, you will never win.
Competition is for losers. When people compete, someone loses. So go where you're the only one. Do what only you can. Run a race with yourself.
The essence of Stoicism is this idea that you focus on what's in your control. And Epictetus said something very similar about 2,000 years before Peter Thiel. He said, if you only run races where winning is up to you, you'll always win, right? If winning for you is, I have the most money, if winning for you is, I'm the most beloved, I'm the most well-known, I received the most awards, if winning to you requires someone or something to deem you something, you might get it, but you also might not get it. If your goal is to be the best version of yourself, or to put a certain amount of time or energy, or to push yourself to a place that you've never been before, well, now winning is something that's in your control.
Well, success has taken on different definitions over time. It used to have to do, and some people listening to this will be like, come on, McConaughey. It used to have to do with some integrity. Or that actually, I think, was a word that was in the definition in 1901 or 11. And now, money, fame, that's your definition of success. So the last, for a lot, the residuals decline on quality of life. I've met many more very rich men who chase that dollar to be successful and to be relevant for having the most money, that the last 15, 20, even younger years were bewildered, lost, had no relationships. We all want to be relevant, but I think we all forget to ask ourselves, relevant for what, before we chase our relevance or chase success. I think there's a difference between success and profit. I mean, profit does pay you back. Can you do things, and I love money, I'm all for it, but I see a lot of one-way tickets that are, you can get successful, have more money, but not be making a profit. Redefine it. Everyone can have their own definition of success, and ask yourself, can I have quality with the quantity, and can I have profit with my success? And profit leans into relationships. I think profit ends up to be a spiritual question too. And how we treat ourselves and others. I think it's a longer game. This chase for just success, if that's money and quantity, is a short-sighted game. If that's all you're after. Now I understand some people out there who can't pay their rent, who are sick and trying to make it to the next day, would listen to this and go, easy for you to say. And I say, you are correct. I'm speaking from my position, because you asked me. Because you got some people that are going, this is a hyperbolic conversation you're having. I'm trying to make it to the next day. Man.
Type B person with a type A problem thinks what a champagne issue that is.
Yeah. It's a real one, and I'm apologizing for it, but I understand the difference. But I would say that if more people that just check your quality as you're chasing your quantity, and make sure that whatever you're succeeding at is giving you actual profit and actually paying you back.
You have these competitive impulses. So somebody blows past you or whatever, and you go, I got to keep up with this person, I got to beat this person, and then you have no idea when they started, and you have no idea when they're finishing. You're almost never actually running a race with a predetermined beginning and end. And so when you can be really clear about defining success in your own terms, then success is much more attainable.
If you're going to do it, do it. Say what you can do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over-leverage yourself. Don't over-leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe.
The best version of your life, it's being able to, with nuance, apply the principles that are generalizable across domains, but then having the wherewithal, the discernment to apply the nuance to your specific circumstance. And being able to map those two things, I think, is the skill that has got me the disproportionate return on my life. I have bought, and I've been public about this, I've been, the early part of my career is very involved in what I would consider the alternative education, space, right? People, the courses, the world that has, I would say, a relatively bad reputation. But I have yet in my life to have purchased anything from anyone that I have not had an exceptional return from. And Is that because of them or is that because of me? Who knows? But I can say that when I even had bad experiences, I could say, these are all the things that I will not do to a customer. And then I have my notebook of the crinkled can and the end that's off the center. And that ability to observe and pause before immediately taking action. Like there are some people that I have met where I know, I'll tell you this story because it's heartbreaking. I've helped a lot of gyms in my career, is probably my second season of entrepreneurship. One of the things that we'll do to a gym to make it more profitable is we adjust pricing. Sometimes we send a price raise letter, and this thing's tested. We've done it hundreds of times. A guy, reaches out and said, "Hey, I did the whole price raise, and 90% of my members left." And I was like, "What? What happened?" And so he explained that he had a $29 a month gym, and then he raised it to $200 a month. That only works when you're a service business, not what I consider a facility usage business, where you're just like $10 a month crunch and it's just like you can use the gym whenever you want, you have equipment. My model was for people who had trainers and who were teaching, classes or sessions or semi-privates. And so in those instances, if you're at 99 and you go to $200, you're not going to lose half your customers. You might lose a third, but you still make more money, have more profit, etc. But he had taken what is otherwise something that has made so many gyms profitable and successful, and he applied it to a specific context. Now he says, I'm a gym owner. He said gym stuff. But then what happens is, for you and I, or anybody who wants to make content, if I were to say, okay, under these situations, under this particular context, if you have a decent relationship with your customers and you have ongoing communication, then you can say, it's like you don't. It takes 10 minutes of disclaimers to get to the point, right? And so then this is why fundamentally, winners will always win, because they will still be able to find, the silver lining even in the terrible experiences that will make them better.